Okay, my friends, get ready for a special edition Political Point. All right, now, yes. All right. We are now at the beginning of February. All right. Now, you are watching Political Point Magazine. Where the right is right and the left, well, the left is always on the wrong side of history. Why? Because political minds want to know. So enjoy a conservative point of view. And let's talk pea soup. With tonight's top stories on this special edition, State of the Union, Part 2. Obama divorced from reality. We will go over some of the things that we weren't able to go over last week. And Sheldon Silver is arrested for corruption. It creates a corruption embarrassment for Governor Andrew Cuomo. An American Sniper breaks box office hit records, but liberals are lashing out against the movie there. We will talk about that. And House Speaker Boehner invites Netanyahu to address Congress, but the president is not meeting with him. And Sergeant Bo Bergdahl will be charged for desertion. We will talk about that. All of that and more tonight on this special edition of Political Point. I am your humble host, William Mitro. All right, my friends. Yes, thank you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And my friends, okay, last week I spoke about Obama's State of the Union address, and we will tune in on that in a moment. Okay, but for now, okay, now I have part 2 of our segment of the State of the Union, which is the state of the delusion and denial union. Okay, yep. So this is the State of the Union Part 2. All right. It's on this note here.
Fellow Americans, we are 15 years into this new century. 15 years that dawned with terror touching our shores, that unfolded with a new generation fighting 2 long and costly wars, that saw a vicious recession spread across our nation and the world. It has been and still is a hard time for many. But tonight, we turn the page. Tonight, after a breakthrough year for America, our economy is growing and creating jobs at the fastest pace since 1999.
Delusion. Nope, that's not the case. As we mentioned last week, that the fastest job growth pace was under George W. Bush. All right. So the president is full of delusion there. All right.
Our unemployment rate is now lower than it was before the financial crisis. More of our kids are graduating than ever before. More of our people are insured than ever before. And we are as free from the grip of foreign oil as we've been in almost 30 years. Tonight, for the first time since 9/11, our combat mission in Afghanistan is over. Six years ago, nearly 180,000 American troops served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Today, fewer than 15,000 remain. And we salute the courage and sacrifice of every man and woman in this 9/11 generation who has served to keep us safe. We are humbled and grateful for your service. America, for all that we have endured, for all the grit and hard work required to come back, for all the tasks that lie ahead, know this: the shadow of crisis has passed, and the state of the union is strong.
Right here, this is where Obama's world is full of delusion and denial here, because noticeably missing from the speech was the words war on terror and Islamic extremism. All right, so it's as if he doesn't realize that that the war on terror is still on, and he's just been oblivious to what's going on, and he mentioned the Arab crisis is over. What the heck is he talking about? He doesn't realize that his foreign policy is creating the rise of more terrorism. All right, and so with this, his worldview is quite diluted. He's totally out there. Nowhere. This is the first time in a State of the Union speech since 9/11 that the president hasn't mentioned Al Qaeda or ISIS or or the ongoing Al Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. He hasn't mentioned any of those things in our fight against terrorism and the Taliban. The expansion of Al Qaeda, which is ISIS, and he doesn't mention the ongoing threat that we face. So he's full of delusion there. All right, so this president just doesn't get it. All right, I mean, I just don't.
At this moment, with a growing economy, shrinking deficits, bustling industry, booming energy production. We have risen from recession freer to write our own future than any other nation on earth. Efforts and their dreams will take them. That's what middle-class economics is. The idea that this country does best when everyone gets their fair shot. Everyone does their fair share. Everyone plays by the same set of rules.
Now, what he's talking about is redistribution of wealth. Okay. Now, in his speech, he did mention that he wants to increase taxes on the wealthy. All right. to generate free college tuition for community colleges. All right. Free community colleges. But that is a delusion in itself, because he has raised taxes 8 times already. All right. And it doesn't work. Raising taxes does not work, my friends. Okay? Obama is just divorced from reality. Okay? And so this new plan that he's proposed in his speech, all right, is just ludicrous. Okay? Ludicrous. All right? Obama just doesn't get it. Okay? So and he's never going to get tax increases passed through the Republican-controlled Congress. So he's full of delusion there. All right? And this talk of everybody does their fair share, you know, it's class warfare. Okay? Class warfare. The president is just delusional. All right? He just doesn't get it. All right? And so let's see where we're at some more here.
Education, 2 and 3. And yet we still live in a country where too many bright, striving Americans are priced out of the education they need. It's not fair to them, and it's sure not smart for our future. And that's why I'm sending this Congress a bold new plan to lower the cost of community college to 0. Keep in mind, 40% of our college students choose community college. Some are young and starting out. Some are older and looking for a better job. Some are veterans and single parents trying to transition back into the job market. Whoever you are, this plan is your chance to graduate ready for the new economy without a load of debt. Understand, you've got to earn it. You've got to keep your grades up and graduate on time. Tennessee, a state with Republican leadership, and Chicago, a city with Democratic leadership, are showing that free community college is possible. And I want to spread that idea all across America so that 2 years of college becomes as free and universal in America as high school is today. Let's stay ahead of the curve. And I want to work with this Congress to make sure those already burdened with student loans can reduce their monthly payments so that student debt doesn't derail anyone's dreams. Thanks to Vice President Biden's great work to update our job training system, we're connecting community colleges with local employers to train workers to fill high-paying jobs like coding and nursing and robotics. Tonight, I'm also asking more businesses to follow the lead of companies like CVS and UPS and offer more educational benefits and paid apprenticeships, opportunities that give workers the chance to earn higher-paying jobs even if they don't have a higher education. And as a new generation of veterans comes home, we owe them every opportunity to live the American dream they helped defend.
All right, so you heard that, you know, that failed proposal to make community colleges free 2 years. Okay, now His plan is to raise taxes on the wealthy, okay, to pay for all this. Okay, so it's not free. Okay, the American taxpayer is paying for it. Hello, a little sign of delusion there again, Mr. President. Okay, now this is just totally ridiculous. All right, the president just does not get it. Okay. Okay, and it's never going to get passed through the Republican-controlled Congress. All right, because he wants to raise taxes on the rich. He wants to raise over $60 billion. Okay, in fresh new taxes on the rich, you know, to pay for this. All right, and which is absolutely ludicrous. It's going to hurt businesses. Okay, mind you, he's already raised taxes 8 times. All right, and it hasn't had an impact on the economy. Okay, and a lot of these jobs that have been created, they've been part-time jobs. All right, and he mentioned that. He also mentioned in his speech about manufacturing. Manufacturing has been in decline under this president. All right, so he's not exactly working with the Republican-controlled Congress. Okay, and like I mentioned last week, he hasn't learned lessons of the midterm elections. All right, and so my favorite part of the speech. My favorite part of the State of the Union, though, okay, is the Republican response. All right, and I'm gonna bring that up here. All right, so we can get to that, which was carried out by freshman Senator Joni Ernst. Okay, now I want to show this picture though. Okay, Joni Ernst, who served in the military, wore her camouflage pumps. All right. Okay. Yep. Camouflage pumps. All right. So I want you to see this. Okay. Take a look. Okay. This is Joni Ernst's camouflage pumps. Okay. But the State of the Union. Okay. But the State of the Union Republican response, and Joni Ernst did an excellent job on this. All right, excellent job. Okay, and this is about five minutes. Okay, so I definitely wanted to show more of that last week because I gave her the last words last week, but so this week we are going to show the full speech. Okay, so here it is.
A soldier and a newly elected senator from the great state of Iowa, I am proud to speak with you tonight. A few moments ago, we heard the President lay out his vision for the year to come. Even if we may not always agree, it's important to hear different points of view in this great country. We appreciate the President sharing his. Tonight, though, rather than respond to a speech, I'd like to talk about your priorities. I'd like to have a conversation about the new Republican Congress you just elected and how we plan to make Washington focus on your concerns again. We heard the message you sent in November, loud and clear, and now we're getting to work to change the direction Washington has been taking our country. The new Republican Congress also understands how difficult these past 6 years have been. For many of us, the sting of the economy and the frustration with Washington's dysfunction weren't things we had to read about. We felt them every day. We felt them in Red Oak, the little town in southwestern Iowa where I grew up and am still proud to call home today. As a young girl, I plowed the fields of our family farm. I worked construction with my dad. To save for college, I worked the morning biscuit line at Hardee's. We were raised to live simply, not to waste. It was a lesson my mother taught me every rainy morning. You see, growing up, I had only one good pair of shoes. So on rainy school days, my mom would slip plastic bread bags over them to keep them dry. But I was never embarrassed, because the school bus would be filled with rows and rows of young Iowans with bread bags slipped over their feet. Our parents may not have had much, but they worked hard for what they did have. These days, though, many families feel like they're working harder and harder with less and less to show for it, not just in Red Oak, but across the country. We see our neighbors agonize over stagnant wages and lost jobs. We see the hurt caused by canceled health care plans and higher monthly insurance bills. We see too many moms and dads put their own dreams on hold while growing more fearful about the kind of future they'll be able to leave to their children. Americans have been hurting, but when we demanded solutions too often, Washington responded with the same stale mindset that led to failed policies like Obamacare. It's a mindset that gave us political talking points, not serious solutions. That's why the new Republican majority you elected started by reforming Congress to make it function again. And now we're working hard to pass the kind of serious job creation ideas you deserve. One you've probably heard about is the Keystone Jobs Bill. President Obama has been delaying this bipartisan infrastructure project for years, even though many members of his party, unions, and a strong majority of Americans support it. The President's own State Department has said Keystone's construction could support thousands of jobs and pump billions into our economy, and do it with minimal environmental impact. We worked with Democrats to pass this bill through the House. We're doing the same now in the Senate. President Obama will soon have a decision to make. Will he sign the bill or block good American jobs? There's a lot we can achieve if we work together. Let's tear down trade barriers in places like Europe and the Pacific. Let's sell more of what we make and grow in America over there so we can boost manufacturing wages and jobs right here at home. Let's simplify America's outdated and loophole-ridden tax code. Republicans think tax filing should be easier for you, not just the well-connected. So let's iron out loopholes to lower rates and create jobs, not pay for more government spending. The President has already expressed support for these kinds of ideas. We're calling on him now to cooperate to pass them. You'll see a lot of serious work in this new Congress. Some of it will occur where I stand tonight, in the Armed Services Committee room. This is where I'll join committee colleagues, Republicans and Democrats, to discuss ways to support our exceptional military and its mission. This is where we'll debate strategies to confront terrorism and the threats posed by Al-Qaeda, ISIL, and those radicalized by them. We know threats like these can't just be wished away. We've been reminded of terrorism's reach, both at home and abroad, most recently in France and Nigeria, but also in places like Canada and Australia. Our hearts go out to all the innocent victims of terrorism and their loved ones. We can only imagine the depth of their grief. For 2 decades, I've proudly worn our nation's uniform, today as a lieutenant colonel in the Iowa Army National Guard. While deployed overseas with some of America's finest men and women, I've seen just how dangerous these kinds of threats can be. The forces of violence and oppression don't care about the innocent. We need a comprehensive plan to defeat them. We must also honor America's veterans. These men and women have sacrificed so much in defense of our freedoms and our way of life. They deserve nothing less than the benefits they were promised and a quality of care we can all be proud of. These are important issues the new Congress plans to address. We'll also keep fighting to repeal and replace a health care law that's hurt so many hardworking families. We'll work to correct executive overreach. We'll propose ideas that aim to cut wasteful spending and balance the budget with meaningful reforms, not higher taxes like the President has proposed. We'll advance solutions to prevent the kind of cyber attacks we've seen recently. We'll work to confront Iran's nuclear ambitions. And we'll defend life because protecting our most vulnerable is an important measure of any society. Congress is back to work on your behalf, ready to make Washington focus on your concerns again. We know America faces big challenges, but history has shown there's nothing our nation and our people can't accomplish. Just look at my parents and grandparents. They had very little to call their own except the sweat on their brow and the dirt on their hands. But they worked, they sacrificed, and they dreamed big dreams for their children and grandchildren. And because they did, an ordinary Iowan like me has had some truly extraordinary opportunities because they showed me that you don't need to come from wealth or privilege to make a difference. You just need the freedom to dream big and a whole lot of hard work. The new Republican Congress you elected is working to make Washington understand that too. And with a little cooperation from the President, we can get Washington working again. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you tonight.
That was the best speech, best Republican response. I give her 2 thumbs up, and she did an excellent job. In fact, I see a rising star in Joni Ernst. You know, she could possibly be a candidate for president one day. But perhaps that's pushing it too far. But anyhow, now we have much ground to cover here. All right, now, namely that the president seems to be out of the loop here. All right, and now, okay, the president seems to be divorced from reality. All right, and so as we will display here, all right, as we will display here, that that there's been a lot of stuff that the president won't even mention to you. All right, but now I want to bring up this now. Okay, now I want to bring up this here. All right, now there's been a lot of talk nowadays of corruption. And let me just re-innovate here. Okay, now, last week I was going to mention about Sheldon Silver. Okay, but I didn't get to it because the State of the Union took too long. So I bring up for you now today that Sheldon Silver was just arrested for corruption, okay, and is now for those of you that don't know, Sheldon Silver is the long is the longest serving assemblyman in New York. Okay, now and now but now Silver has had the longest tenure of any leader at the Capitol, and his ability to negotiate on behalf of his assembly colleagues earned him their loyalty. But he can also be formidable when a leadership coup failed in 2000. His foes were punished by losing committee posts. He's 1 year shy of being the longest serving speaker in New York State history. Okay, but however, now, okay, Democrat Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver, one of the most powerful leaders in New York, was arrested on federal corruption charges that alleged he was involved in a multi-million-dollar kickback scheme for more than a decade. Just the thing that that shakes up the assembly in Albany. Now, by the way, this is a scandal proving that New York is the most corrupt state in America. All right. Okay, so this, my friends, is quite interesting. Okay, now, Sheldon Silver, okay, if we may innovate here, okay, now, over his decades in office, Speaker Sheldon Silver has amassed titanic political power, but as alleged during that same time period, Silver also amassed a tremendous personal fortune to the abuse of power, of political power. Okay, now one of the now you remember last year we talked about the Moreland Commission, okay, which was set up and appointed by Governor Cuomo, right? Okay, so now this was set up at the end of 2013, okay, by Governor Cuomo, and he appointed a couple lawyers from both sides of the aisle to put this in play here. Okay, and the object of the panel was to end corruption, to seek out corruption. Okay, but once the panel started first off, to begin with, Governor Cuomo said that the panel can investigate anywhere, even if it's in his own office. Okay, but once the panel started investigating the governor's office, or got too close to firms and organizations that were tied to the governor's office, the governor abruptly shut down the corruption panel in March of 2014. Okay, so now amongst the investigations into corruption, though, was Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver. Okay, now this case is quite interesting. Okay, now the complaint alleges. Okay, now the complaint alleges that Silver received payments from a law firm called White's. From a law firm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, here it is. Okay, Silver's arrest was the highest profile case since Governor Eliot Spitzer, okay, resigned in 2008. Okay, and it again sent shockwaves to the Capitol. Okay, now, okay, now, okay, that has seen nearly 40 lawmakers caught up in scandal since 2000. Okay, now, it also raised new questions about the corruption busting panel that Governor Cuomo appointed, who shut it down last year. Okay, now Silver has. Okay, so now the complaint alleges that Silver received payments from the law firm from the law firms, but he didn't do any legal work. Okay, the 35-page complaint said Silver received at least $5.3 million from the personal injury law firm Weitz and Luxenberg in Manhattan since 2002. All right. Now, the complaint also alleged that Silver took legal action and other steps to prevent the disclosure of such information as part of the Moreland Commission probe that ended last March. Okay, now Behera condemned Albany's culture of corruption, and he said he picked up the Moreland Commission's cases, but was already investigating Silver before the panel's abrupt end. Okay, or before the panel even started, actually. Okay, now, this is where the story gets interesting here. All right, now, the New York Times reported that December 29th, that federal authorities were investigating income Silver may have received from a law firm, Goldberg and Iremy, which specializes in real estate tax reductions for properties in New York City. The income hasn't been listed on Silver's annual financial disclosure forms. Okay, now the firm is not named in the complaint, but it shows that Silver earned nearly $700,000 from a real estate firm in referral fees since 2002. The complaint also alleges that Silver had an arrangement with a doctor who was an expert in asbestos-related diseases. He allegedly got doctor state grants in exchange for referring cases to Weitz and Luxembourg. Now, last year, Silver reported on disclosure forms earnings between $650,000 to $750,000 in 2013. Okay, as of counsel and at Weitz and Luxembourg. Silver has faced numerous questions about his relationship, including sexual harassment cases involving lawmakers under his watch, but he has survived as speaker through each controversy. Now, if convicted, Silver could serve 20 years in prison on 4 counts of corruption. on each count of corruption. Okay. Now, that's just proving that New York is the most corrupt. Is the most corrupt in Earth, on Earth. Okay. So this case creates an corruption embarrassment for Governor Andrew Cuomo, and it stirs up things. Okay, considering that that Cuomo, Cuomo, in his State of the State, in his State of the State address, was proposing a budget that that Silver was involved in. All right, but now, my friends, it gets ultimately worse for that now. All right, now, okay, but now let's speak to this point here. Now, Assembly Speaker Boehner has invited Netanyahu to speak in March before Congress. Now, but ironically, the president now is not even going to meet with the assembly or meet with the prime minister. And this clearly displaying that the tensions between the relationships between Netanyahu and the president. Okay, now over the course of Obama's administration, he has been ducking and dodging, and he basically has not been friendly to Israel, our longtime ally, and you know, you remember during the war between Palestine and Israel, the administration took strides to supporting Palestine. You know, and it's just ridiculous. All right, and Netanyahu is our friend, our close friend and ally, and in this war on terror, and we have all those other terror-sponsored states around Israel that want to wipe Israel off the map, and we are helping the enemy, and Obama is helping the enemy. This is just ridiculous. Right? It makes no sense at all. No sense whatsoever. Okay, the president is just out there. All right. I mean, I can't imagine why this president would be so glib. Okay. Pardon me. All right, but anyhow, now, but I can't imagine why the president wouldn't just reach out to Netanyahu here. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Okay. Now, our mission is clear. All right. Now, we are in the midst of the war on terror. Okay, but the president does not want to acknowledge that. All right. Now, okay, but now, okay, now, let's get into some more here. All right, and now, okay, all right, now, let's get into some more here. Now, American Sniper, the great movie that has been winning box office hits, box office records. All right. Now, the American Sniper. However, there has been criticism from the left on this movie. All right. Now, yep. But anyhow, here we go. All right. Let me show you this. All right. American Sniper.
So you're not worried about what might happen?
I'm willing to meet my creator and answer for every shot that I took.
I'll pick it up. Drop it.
Yep. Now, that just an amazing movie. Made over $100 million at the box office. 2 weekends in a row. my friends, and this is truly amazing. But now, among the people that have criticized the movie, though, all right, have been Howard Dean. Okay, Howard Dean said this. All right, take a look. All right.
There's a lot of anger in this country, and the people who go see this movie are people who are very angry. And this guy basically says, I'm going to fight on your side. And they bite for it. I think there's some, I bet you if you looked at a cross-section of the Tea Party and people who go to see this movie, there's a lot of intersection.
Mm-hmm. Really? Now, what in the world is he talking about? Now, Dean did apologize, but not to the right wing nut jobs, as he says. All right. But then there's Michael Moore. Okay, Michael Moore came out tweeting. Michael Moore came out tweeting. Michael Moore came out swinging over here. Now, and once again, here's what here's some of what he said. All right. Now he put up a tweet. He took to Twitter, and he said a sniper killed my father. Snipers are cowards. And then he comes out with tomorrow's Sunday school. Number 1, what would Jesus do? I know what he'd do. Hide on top of a roof and shoot people in the backs. Which is just ridiculous. All right. Now, Michael Moore is a scam artist. All right. His movie, he's just jealous because American Sniper did way better than his crappy movies. All right, he's just totally out there. All right, and then there's filmmaker Seth Rogen. All right, who came out and compared the movie to Hitler. Yeah. Now that's really just out there. All right. But American Sniper, excellent movie. I encourage people to go out and see that movie. Okay, it's just truly amazing. All right. Now. All right, and now. All right, but now I wanna make clear though, all right, that now we have several things going on now, all right, but now there's another story that needs to be recognized here. You remember Bo Bergdahl? Right? Yeah, that's right. Bo Bergdahl. All right. Bo Bergdahl, that the American sergeant that got traded for five top Taliban terrorists. Well, it appears that the army now has spoken here. All right, and the army has done its investigation, and they are ready to charge him for desertion. All right, so that is up and coming. All right. However, there was a report out that said that there was a report out that said that the army denied the claim, and they haven't taken steps yet, but there is confirmation that that Bo Bergdahl is going to be charged for for being a deserter. Right? Now, Lord knows what it will bring. All right, but there is confirmation now that the military is ready to bring up charges for desertion. All right, and it is probably going to be sometime soon. All right, but anyhow, we will look forward to that. Okay, but anyhow, okay. Now, with that in mind, my friends, okay, these are challenging times, mind you, going forth here. All right, but challenging times are ahead. All right, and now, so we need to be prepared, right? And with everything popping up here, all right. Now I do want to mention something that 2016 is 2 years away now, and now the next 2 years are gonna be interesting with the Republican-controlled Congress here, all right, and now because it is quite amazing that we, the people have spoken. Okay, the people have spoken. That's right. Okay, so and in any case here, all right, the people have spoken. They've rejected Obama's policies, and you remember now. All right. Okay, you remember now. Okay, now I'm gonna play something here. All right, now. All right, here it is. Okay. Yep. All right, but here it is. All right. Now, we now have a Republican-controlled Congress. All right. Okay, we now have a Republican-controlled Congress, and just this week, my friends. Okay, the Republican-controlled Congress has passed stuff on the Keystone Pipeline. Has passed the bill on the Keystone Pipeline, and it's ready for the president's approval. All right, now, okay, but now I mentioned in the State of the Union that it's more like the state of delusion. All right, because you remember, okay, you remember back in 2013 when the president said this.
You don't like a particular policy or a particular president? Then argue for your position. Go out there and win an election. Push to change it. But don't break it.
Yep. And the Republicans did go out there. They did make their point of view. Okay. And they did win big. All right. And they did win big. In fact, okay, they now hold a majority in the House, the largest majority in the House. Okay, as you can see there. All right, and also they hold a large majority in the Senate. You see that? Okay. Now, but anyway, it's ultimately clear that the president is out of touch with the American people here. All right. So with that, I'm going to take it to the last words of the night. Okay, coming up here. All right. So it is ultimately clear here. Okay, so the last words of the night here. All right. Now, okay. Have you heard of Deflategate? Well, I bet you have. Okay. Yep. Well, apparently there's a new twist in the scandal there. Okay. Now, a locker room attendant is reported to have taken several balls, like 11 of them, and has put them and taken them after they were inspected, taken them to a bathroom and deflated them. But with the Super Bowl coming up here, okay, they claim the New England Patriots of cheating were cheating when they found deflated footballs. All right, now this is quite interesting. Okay, but I'm actually rooting for the Patriots. Okay, I'm actually rooting for the Patriots. All right, but anyhow, my friends, that is our show for tonight. We thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history. And follow me on Twitter at WilliamMetro2, and you can check us out on YouTube. All right. Hey, once again, we thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history. As always, vote Republican. Check us out on the web, facebook.com/PetePolitical, myspace.com/politicalpoint. Email us at politicalpoint@hotmail.com, mccarpet24@hotmail.com, and check out my website on the Elmira City Hall Examiner. Alright, so once again, we thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history.